my goodness, this is a gigantic package, as you could probably tell. I mean, it's like, it is the largest gaming laptop ever inside. I can't believe I haven't checked out this laptop sooner. The Acer Predator 21X. It's hard to even call this thing a laptop. It comes in a suitcase. It retails for $9,000. What type of LAN parties are you having? I don't know. I want to be there. Send me an invite. Is there popcorn at LAN parties? I don't know, but there should be. Here we go. Oh my goodness. This is the Predator 21X, and as you probably guessed, oh, it's heavy! Underneath this, all the accessories, 2 giant power bricks, 2 separate power cables, a wrist rest, a trackpad which flips over into a number pad, some replaceable keycaps. Oh, ugh. Yes, it's a laptop. Technically, you could put it on your lap, but really what it is it's like a portable game station. After all, this thing has 2 GTX 1080s in it. It's like a mobile gaming PC. Obviously, you're gonna need double the juice, and that's what you got here. Now, you can insert these things into this holder here, like that, and that is your power setup. Now, obviously, you're gonna have a ton of ports on here because it is really a desktop replacement. 2 USB 3s, Dolby Audio badge over here, some giant grills here to get rid of heat from the inside, HDMI 2 display ports, Thunderbolt 3, wired Ethernet, and then, of course, the 2 power ports for those power bricks. 2 more USB 3s. It looks like some gold-plated audio connectors for both microphone and headphones. Here we go. Ooh, that's insane. 2560 by 1080, ultra wide, and yes, it's curved. There's the curve. This thing has 5 fans in it. It's got 2 subwoofers on it, as you can see down here in the corners. Also, these laptops are numbered. You can see I have number 16 out of 300 out in the world, so it's a pretty exclusive club. That is a crazy place to sit. Oh my goodness. I mentioned this number pad here before. On the other side is a trackpad. It just slots in right here. It's magnetic. You can put the number pad in like that as well. Now, the keyboard. Let's talk about the keyboard. This thing is mechanical. Beneath each one of these keycaps is a Cherry MX Brown switch, which is insane for a laptop, although again, calling this thing a laptop doesn't really do it justice. Now, this also has a cool feature called Killer Double Shot Pro. Essentially, it allows this port right here to work in conjunction with your Wi-Fi to prioritize gaming via this port, and then all the other web-based functions over Wi-Fi. What do you say, folks? Should we power it up? That was a pretty quick boot up, as it should be. You can see the temperature, the CPU, the 2 GPUs, and of course the system as well. Now I'm gonna go ahead and hit the max fan speed. Oh. Bit of a jet engine. You have 2 GTX 1080s, so stop complaining, okay?
Today, I think we've done that. So in a previous video, I showed you a setup with a really special chair. Oh my goodness.
So there's a couple different settings on there through the Dolby menu, dynamic, movie, music, game, voice, and then personalize, where you can set the EQ yourself. For my videos, voice sounds the best, I think.
You're not allowed to sit here, Jack.
For a laptop, it sounds good, but it ain't gonna rival like a dedicated setup. Chances are, with a system like this, probably gonna want to use a headset into one of these jacks on the side. Steam time.
We need to find those sinners. Head for the lumber mill. I'll be waiting. I'm sorry. I thought they got you. Come on. There's a road out there. We're gonna take it. We're gonna head northeast. Up ahead! Watch it! Take him out!
Also has 120 hertz refresh rate. That's gonna be really important, obviously, to gamers. It's got the i7 7820 HK processor. The 2 GTX 1080s are in SLI, so they're working together. It's got 64 gigabytes of DDR4 memory, and then it's got a couple of 512 gigabyte SSDs, NVMe SSDs in RAID 0, and a 1 terabyte 7200 RPM hard drive. So yeah, that's Far Cry 5 and Ultra Everything. Very graphics intensive game, as you could tell from the gameplay. Fills out the ultra wide aspect ratio at 2560 by 1080. And you can see we still have plenty of VRAM left over. Holy smoke, 7.8 gigabytes. What I really think this thing aims to do is recreate a desktop experience in something that is sort of portable. I'm happy that something like this exists. If I walked into somebody's house and they just had this thing set up, how am I not gonna ask some questions? $9,000, dual GTX 1080s, ultra wide display, 2560 by 1080, i7, mechanical keyboard, reversible trackpad, a dragon!
Hey, it's Chaim from The Verge, and this is the Acer Predator 21X. It's the biggest, most powerful, most expensive gaming laptop ever made. It's a $9,000 behemoth with a 21-inch screen that literally dwarfs any other computer. And while it's certainly an impressive looking and massive device, is there any real reason to justify buying it, or even for it to exist at all? I've been using it for a couple weeks now, and the one thing I can't emphasize enough is just how big this thing is. Like, really, really big. It weighs almost 19 pounds, which is about as much as 6 MacBook Pros. Incidentally, its $9,000 price tag is also the cost of 6 MacBook Pros. Despite the size, it is technically still a laptop. It has a screen, it has a battery, and at least on paper, it works unplugged and away from a wall. The Predator 21X checks all the major boxes for a gaming computer. Glowing LEDs, huge plastic vents, a giant roaring dragon, a cutaway to see inside the computer, all here. Just, you know, bigger. Subtlety is not exactly this thing's strong suit. With that kind of firepower, it would be surprising if anything didn't run well in the Predator. And fortunately, anything from Rocket League to the incredibly graphically intensive Battlefield 1 runs great. Just simply go to the menu, hit maximum settings, and you're ready to go. Performance does take a bit of a hit though when you're unplugged. And using this as an actual computer, it works. But using this thing for anything other than playing games is a lot like using a Lamborghini to drive to a grocery store. It'll get you there, but it's not really what it's for. Could you use it to get work done on the subway or take over a table at your local coffee shop? Sure, but you'll look ridiculous while you're doing it, and there's really much better ways to use this computer. Acer only ships it in one model, with an overclocked Core i7 processor, dual GTX 1080 graphics card, a 1TB hard drive, two 500GB SSDs, and a completely unnecessary 64GB of RAM. The screen is a curved 21-inch panel, which is a first for a laptop, and has a Tobii eye tracking rig attached to the bottom that can track your eyes while playing games to aim and light up UI elements. At just under 2 hours, battery life is a bit lower than you'd expect from the usual 7 to 10 that you'd want from a regular work computer. The mechanical keyboard is really loud and gets really uncomfortable to use if you're not using the optional palm rest. The trackpad is actually surprisingly good for a Windows computer, but it's a bit small for navigating the giant screen. Fortunately, it flips over to become a number pad, because if you're using the trackpad on this thing, you're already missing the point. And yeah, it is a bit bulky to carry around when you're out and about. I'd highly recommend using two hands to carry it pretty much at all times. And that's not even factoring in the chargers. That's right, there are two of them, each of which also weighs a couple pounds. And while the Predator itself is bigger than my entire backpack, fortunately, Acer includes a custom wheeled case so that you can take it to commute or to a nearby coffee shop. And it's that carrying case that really sums up the Predator 21X. It's out of place and impractical to an extreme. It's not really meant to fit in your bag or on your desk because it's supposed to stand out. The Predator 21X is a trophy of a laptop. It's for people who need to have the biggest, best thing out there. If you're a regular computer user or even a serious gamer, there's still no reason to consider buying one. And yet, I'm glad that something as ridiculous as the Predator 21X exists. Because as expensive and impractical as it is, it's nice to know that, at least at Acer, sheer overkill is still in style.